Cheers. My name is Brock Zevan. Good morning, everybody. Mike and I have been doing this. He first started with me about 4 years ago. We started on a phone, and here we are now on Facebook Live. We got Zoom going on, and I'm just very honored, blessed to be able to have everybody here this morning. I really got a good one. I started thinking about it in my head how I was going to do this. So some of you will laugh at me very shortly here. But we have our mindset motivation call that we do every morning. It used to be on a conference line. Now it's here. And we're able to reach out to people all across the country. People now can watch it on my YouTube channel, on the recording. Take a look at our Facebook page, Brock Zevan's Motivational Mindset and Coaching Group. So make sure you take a look at that. And so just very excited. And then we're going to get into some role play. And then on Facebook, we end up concluding, and then we stay on Zoom and we go through our team meeting. So I always like when people are on Zoom because it engages. You can hear for those on Facebook as far as comments. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Karen, Elizabeth, Amy, D. So appreciate the comments, and we'll be looking at that here very shortly. So this morning's topic is ring the bell. Okay. And so what I decided to do when you ring the bell is, I know now look, I even got my shorts on, guys. It was my relax day. My boss let me have my shorts on. So I'm going to put the camera up here because I'm going to show you a universal sign here. And I want you guys to tell me when we're in this position, hunkered over, and I'm just going to lower the camera just a little bit because it's very important that you understand. When you're hunked over like this and you're breathing heavy, whether you're on Facebook or on Zoom, what is this usually a typical sign for when you see somebody hunched over like this, heavy breathing? What is this sign?
Tired, out of breath, overworked.
Yeah, you're exhausted. You're tired. You don't feel like going on. And you're trying to figure out a way, do I have enough in me to keep on going? And to me, I don't know if you ever saw this, the reason why I'm wearing shorts today, Tim Grover in the book Relentless, when he was talking to Michael Jordan, if you could see myself here, Michael Jordan would get tired in the fourth quarter because he played so many minutes. And he kind of was trying to keep his hands on his hips. But Tim Grover, his coach, said to him, I got an idea. Take your hands and put them on your shorts so you can let your body rest right here. It doesn't give you an opportunity to say, hey, coach, get me into the bench. It says you have to rest right here to still play the game. You're not allowed to come out, nor are you going to come out, but we need to figure out a way for you to pause and rest, to let your body have a faster time to recover, because going to the bench is not an option. And so when I say to you guys, ring the bell, and when you watch the book that I read, and I taught this class of the Make Your Bed with the Navy SEALs, ringing the bell means I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And when they ring the bell, guess what they get to do? They get to go home. They don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They don't have to have ridiculous hours. They don't have to be full of sand. They don't have to get yelled at. They don't have to keep going. And in our real estate business, we can say, you know what? I want to be a W-2 employee. And don't get mad at me for saying a W-2 employee, okay? I'm not trying to be mean against W-2 employee, but when you're 1099 and the only income you have is 100% commission, guess what? You're going to ring the bell when the money's not coming in, and you're going to say, I can't do this. I have to go get a job. But wait a minute. Isn't your job real estate? See, ringing the bell means you gave up. Ringing the bell means when Michael Jordan says, I'm in, coach, don't take me out. I figured out a way. I'm just going to put my hands on my shorts here to rest, not to ring the bell, not to stop. Because in the middle of the year right now, and you're looking at your first half of the year numbers, and July is not really going well for you, It's too easy to go ding, 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 ding. I'm, I can't do it. Okay. And then we have personal life gets in the way. I was just having a conversation with Pamela this morning about, and I was talking to Greg, as I shared with you guys yesterday, the abundance mindset that when it comes time for when attorney letters or life comes at you and you got kids and all these things take shape, what are you going to do? I was telling Pamela my story this morning when it came time for me going on vacation with my kids. And I have a certain budget now that I have to stay in. Why is that? Because when you're $153,000 in freaking IRS debt, you got to do something to pay it off. If not, I'll really have somebody knocking on my door. And I promise you, they're going to have bracelets on my wrist and they're going to escort me out. So I have no choice but to stay in a budget, which is good for me to be able to do it. So one of the things I told my daughter, Brielle, I said, I want you to pick out a place and we're going to go on vacation and we're going to do this. And so, of course, she picks out a really nice place. And of course, there's a lot of chaos going into my life and I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to do this. And it got to a point when Brielle said to me, hey, Daddy, can we do this? Can we get this place? And I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, Brielle, that looks like a really nice place right there on the water, of course, overlooking the ocean. Yeah, no, it has all the bells and whistles, everything you possibly could have there. And my mind goes to scarcity mode, like, how am I going to afford this? Because this is outside my budget. And I'm trying to get a commercial property right now, and that's a little bit outside my budget. And we're putting in a pool, and the pool is ridiculously nice, and that's outside my budget. So I start creeping down where I want to ring the bell and say, financially, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do here on this one. And so what I started to do is I started to think about things in a positive way. I started to pray. And you won't believe what happened to me yesterday on the phone call. I can't make this stuff up, guys. But I said to myself at the time period that Brielle said to me financially and everything else going on, I said, all right, I just got to take a little break. I got to put my hands on my shorts here. Because yesterday I get a phone call. Yesterday I get a phone call from the condo, from the place that I'm supposed to stay at. And they say, hey, Mr. Zevan, this is, I forgot her name, Anna. And I am the agent for your place to stay at this Sunday. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. How are you? And it seemed kind of strange that they're calling me. She goes, I need to tell you something. The condo ended up flooding the room downstairs. And so contractors are in your place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Brielle and Bryce are going to be devastated that I don't know where we're going to stay. And then I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm really going to have to spend more money to be able to figure out where I'm going to do last minute. And so my brain starts going down this path and I'm just like, all right, we're going to figure this out. I don't know yet, but let me just try to stay positive. I said, okay, Anna, what are you saying? She says, you won't be able to use that shower. I said, that's it? She's like, yeah, you only have to use the master shower. I'm like, I have a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. They shower in the same place I shower anyways. I'm like, that's not a problem. She goes, oh my gosh. And for your troubles, the owner says we're going to take 50% off of your stay. And I was like, wow, thank you. And then I said a prayer to God and said, thank you. I said, you got me. I don't worry anymore. I'd never ring the bell because somehow, some way it's going to work out. So if you're in a position right now that you're not too sure what's going on, you're in a dark place. We talked about dirt yesterday. And if there's dirt that's fallen into your hole, don't worry about it. Because if you keep showing up, if you show face, if you do what you're supposed to do every single day, somehow it works out. I don't know, just like the video Art Williams, when they say, Brock, how did you handle those type of things? I just say, I don't know. I just did it. That's what I did. I just did it and I kept going on. That was what I did. And so I challenge you today, when you want to ring your bell, when you're tired and the coach says, come on out, you look tired, just take yourself, think about the shorts, and just breathe and just relax, say a little prayer, and everything will work out. I promise you. I don't know how, I can't guarantee it, but I can tell you somehow it works out. And it might not be in the time period you want it to be in, but it will happen. It will happen. So, that being said, it is 8:27. I don't know really what took place with this other thing that I got here on my Facebook. So if somebody was leaving me some chats or different things, I do apologize. I don't know where it went, but that's a problem that I'll have to figure out later down the road. But anyways, so either on Zoom or on Facebook to some extent, I'm trying to pull you guys back up on the Facebook world. Who's got something for me, or who's got a question that they would like to share with me, or some a comment maybe on what I talked about this morning? All right, that sounds wonderful. I like that. That's
Hey, Brock, it's Scott over here, Andy Elder team in Michigan. Man, you are spot on. You are spot on. You put your trust, put your faith, and it will work out. Even though it's a challenge as a learning lesson. And just be patient. Everything will work out.
Absolutely, man.
Love it. Amen on that.
Well, amen, brother. I appreciate you being on here, and it was great to really be one-on-one with you yesterday and coaching with you. And I'm really excited to see where you're growing. And thank you for being on here this morning, especially on a Friday.
Oh, you are more than welcome, and thank you.
All right. Who else has something that they would like to share this morning? I think I finally figured out I figured out part of the Facebook issue that I had going on. Now the other part is going back on Zoom to see what I got here. Okay, now I think I got everything under control. Has anybody got anything that they like to add? I see Braden there. Good morning, Braden. Anybody they like to say, question, role play, or anything at all? Mr. Kastner, are you just saying hi, or do you have a question, sir?
He's raising his hand. One of us are coming in here.
I was actually waving to the neighbor who was going by. In small town Alabama, everybody who goes by waves at you, and it's rude if you don't wave back. So I apologize. I was waving at a neighbor. So Greg, go right ahead.
No, I mean, I just really appreciate that, because what we deal with every single day, if we don't get really what we want to have that day, sometimes we think that it's a failure, that we failed today because we didn't either get the listing, we didn't make enough calls, and then that whole cycle starts to develop. And so I really appreciate that it's really about looking ahead and getting back in the game. And I think that's really great. But what's interesting is that the same thing happened to us when we were in North Myrtle. The kitchen sink, there was a flood. As soon as we got there, water all over the floor in the morning, water coming all over the place. And we end up getting like almost the entire week comped because the guy who knew that my wife was in travel was going to make a post or do something. And this guy went out and he got the coffee machine wasn't working. Now, all this stuff was going to happen after we went, but he kept telling, I'm going to take care of this, going to take care of the toaster, anything that you guys want while you're in there. He didn't want a bad review. So, food for thought. If you're in a place somewhere and it ain't working right, tell them you're going to write a review, and you'll be surprised what they're going to do to make it all work out for you. But
no, good man. Very, very good point. You just never know. And it happens with us too. Role reversal too. When you're in the business, guys, and you treat your clients not the fair, or you're become unprofessional, be careful. They could write a review for you too. So you always have to be cognitive of what you're saying and what's going out there in this new world that we live in, because they can write a review about you. And if you aren't giving your A game, it does show up, and it shows up in public, just like many things do. And so you got to be very cognitive and cautious of that. I'm going to end it on this since nobody else has anything. I'm going to say this. The guy, Christian, who's my mentee, yesterday he came into the office, and Greg comes in the office pretty much daily. And sometimes we get ourselves in a lull because just like anything, you're welcome, Pat. Just like anything, what happens is you start to just kind of like settle, and it's just like, all right, I get like Mike talks about all the time. Well, I'm just going through the day. I'm going through the motions. And so yesterday I called Christian. I said, Christian, are you coming in today? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, you are? Oh, okay, great. He goes, is that all right? I said, yeah, no, I needed something because I get bored doing my calls all the time. And so Greg goes, I called Greg. I said, Christian's coming in. And Greg's all the way down in Matthews. He's like 45 minutes from the office. And he goes, oh, he's coming in? Well, I'm going to come in too. And so he comes into the office. And yesterday was one of our best days on the phones. He got a couple leads. Greg got a couple leads. I got a couple leads. And then throughout the synergy of everything takes place, who would have thunk this? Christian calls me up and says to me, hey, Brock, and him and I were going back and forth. But long story short, at 9:30 last night, after we started working together at 9:15, him and I went under contract on my 33 acres in Mooresville that was $700,000. And him and I came to an agreement with our clients, and we close next Friday. Cash offer, close in less than 10 days. Guys, that is not because something came out of the sky for certain things. To me, it is about showing up, having synergy, and at time periods, you have no idea when things are going to take place. But I know this, that if you don't go through the motions, and if you don't show up, and Christian didn't come there, and Greg didn't come here, we might not have had that energy to be able to forecast that. So if you're thinking that, stop it. Just stop it. Don't think that anymore. Okay. Get around people who have energy. And that's why you guys are on here in the mornings. And I want you to start telling other people to come on in the mornings, because this is going to be an attraction, because somebody on here at one point, I can promise you, for those that have been on this call long enough, is going to share a story, and it's going to hit home to you, and it's going to change your life, and it's going to make you do things. And at certain points, they're going to say, man, what took place to you? Man, I was on this call and I talked to this person, and boy, it just changed everything. It happens when we least expect it, guys. So thank you guys for being on here this morning. It is 8:34. For those of you in the Facebook world, thank you so much for being on here. If you have any comments or if you need anything, by all means, feel free to post something on here. Tell us what you like. Go on our Facebook page. Do all whatever it is that you need to do. In our world, we're going to still stay in the Zoom world. We are going to stay with Zoom, and we are going to go through our team meeting today. For those that are on the Zoom, by all means, you're more than welcome to listen in. For those on Facebook, thank you so much, and have a great, great weekend. All right.